think the biggest issue today for marketers is managing the complexity of the marketplace. Technology particularly is driving complexity throughout the marketing mix. New channels, new ways of doing business, new ways that the consumer is engaging with brands is actually driving this. And so what we're seeing is that marketers often are becoming confused or challenged by these constant changes in technology. And what that means is, in response to that, often marketers are finding themselves getting a range or a roster of agencies that covers all of these different areas. So instead of just having their creative and media agency, they've now got specialists in each area. It's not unheard of for marketers to have 20, 30, even up to 100 different agencies to cover this level of complexity. The problem with this is they're spending way too much time having to manage that. And they have to manage it because there's a huge amount of gaps, overlaps and duplications, which means there's great inefficiency in the way they're working. TrinityP3 provides total independent advice. The mistake a lot of marketers make is that they'll often, when confronted with a huge roster of agencies, turn to the agencies themselves, often their lead agency, and ask for advice on what the roster should look like. Now, clearly you're asking someone with a vested interest to provide independent advice, and it doesn't happen. It's like turning to the poacher and ask them to become the gamekeeper. They have an interest which is not necessarily aligned to the interest of the marketers. TrinityP3 doesn't have that conflict of interest. We're purely there to make our clients more efficient and more effective with the resources they have, and help them align those resources and capabilities to the strategic requirements, no matter how complex, that the market is facing. I think the biggest problem marketers have is that they have no time. So what they're often doing is so caught up in delivering the marketing strategy, they have no time to manage it. So I'd say to people, always make time to manage the roster effectively. There's an old saying, how do I drain the swamp when I'm up to my arse in alligators? And I think that's what marketers are suffering from. You need to make that time to work out what your requirements are and then plan out what you need to do it. Now, if you can't do that yourself, I think that's where we can help.